Waldeck is an esports athlete, and today his team has as a tournament with the opponent team. He then gets ready to the game with his best friend and co-player Stasek, but their team loses the game, and Waldeck is very sad because it isn't the first time he lost the tournament. Meanwhile, his mother knows this and waits for him outside. She encourages them by saying that this is a silly tournament and that soon they will be successful. In the car, she gives sports shirts to them which their team's name is written, and they both become so excited seeing the shirts. They are on the way to see their third partner Rudy, who was absent from today's match. When they arrive, they both shout and show Rudy the new shirts, but he doesn't look excited. At home, Waldeck is studying while his mother is busy cleaning the house. He is annoyed with the vacuum cleaner's noise, but his mom says that her Aunt Mariola is coming here, and that's why she is cleaning the house now. The next day, Waldeck practices physical sports, but needs to perform better. And on the way back, he tells his friend Stasek that he can't come to play today because his aunt is coming. Waldeck and his mom are waiting for Mariola, then the doorbell rings. Mariola says she had a horrible experience driving in this city, and that it's due to the construction in the city, or the people driving carelessly, and all of them don't do anything of decency. Then she comes in and still talking. Waldeck becomes mad, and thinks he can't bear her physically or mentally, and might have a nervous breakdown. Mariola then opens the fridge, and says that they have filled it with unhealthy things that she doesn't like eating. She is eating, and talking about her pet that died, and about her trips to different countries. But Waldeck is so furious by all this. Mariola further says that she will no longer stay there, and will be back soon. Then starts singing a song. When Waldeck sleeps, his mother says that he can practice on his computer, play video games, and tells him that his aunt will never stop him. Meanwhile, his mom leaves, and he then starts playing a game. He continuously says he will win the tournament and the trophy one day, and everyone will be cheering for him. At that time, he shouts with happiness. But Mariola hears that and orders him to sleep. In the morning, his mom is going for clinical testing, but Waldeck is unhappy as he has to stay with his aunt. He is helping Mariola in making a cake, but he isn't willing to eat it. She tells him that the taste of the cake is optional, but the important thing is that he has prepared a cake for himself. Then she orders him to wash dishes and go cycling. Although he is tired, Mariola still insists on him. His mother calls Mariola and tells her she misses her son and wants to return, but Mariola replies that she has to take her medical treatments. Later on, Mariola orders some plants for the home, and asks Waldeck to take them upstairs. The next day, when Waldeck returned from school, Mariola asks him to go out cycling, but he runs from there, and comes to his friend's house to get some rest. Mariola then comes and takes Waldeck with her. In the evening, Waldeck calls his mother and asks her to return home, because he doesn't want to live with Mariola. After a while, his friend Stasek calls him. He informs Waldeck that Rudy has left and joined another team. Stasek claims that it is Waldeck's fault, because he didn't train enough with them. Waldeck wakes at night, leaving the house to visit his mom at the hospital, and he goes inside the hospital secretly. The guard stops him, but he manages to distract the guard, and runs toward his mother's room. But when he goes near his mother's room, he is shocked. His mother has lost her hair, and always wears a wig. He starts crying, and goes back to the bus. In the morning, his mother calls Mariola, and tells her that she saw Waldeck in the hospital last night. But Mariola makes a lame excuse that he wants to visit the hospital, and that's why he was there. Mariola gets close to him, and says that they must find another team member. Waldeck then leaves home on his cycle, and leaves it outside the building. But Mariola is watching this, and when Waldeck comes back, he can't find his cycle there. He starts telling a fake story to his Aunt Mariola, that he faced a gang because they tried to steal his bicycle. Mariola agrees with his story, and starts laughing. Then she tells him that she has the bicycle. Waldeck stops attending to his mom's calls, and Mariola sees him crying in his room. In the morning, she tells him to talk to his mom while cleaning the bathroom. But he says he doesn't want to talk to her, and wants to know when she will return. After a while, Waldeck and Stasek are trying to get a new member for their team. They find a man in an unusual dress, and they fix a meeting time. In the morning, Waldeck goes swimming with Mariola. He mistakenly bumps into a beautiful girl named Delphina. She talks so lovely to him that he starts liking her. After returning home, Waldeck tells Stasek he wants Delfina to be his girlfriend, but he suddenly receives a text message from Delfina, and she wants to meet him at 5 p.m. in front of their home. At 5 p.m., he gets ready to meet her. Then Delfina comes and says that she is their new team member, but Stasek replies that they don't want to play with a girl and calls her a chick. She becomes angry and leaves. Then Waldeck also gets upset due to Stasek's behavior. Mariola is watching from the window and asks Waldeck about his meeting with Delfina, but he doesn't reply and goes into his room. His mother comes home at night and calls him, but he is angry because she didn't tell him about her disease. Waldeck then goes into the kitchen and makes a cup of tea for his mother. It is the first time that she sees him making anything in the kitchen by himself. Waldeck doesn't talk with his mother and returns to his room. The following day, his mom goes back to the hospital, and Waldeck is spending time with his new friend Delfina. Stasek says sorry for his behavior, and the friends reunite again. Delfina is ready to be a part of their team, and they named her Queen Delfina. Then they are preparing for the next tournament. The next day, Mariola takes them to the riverside for an enjoyable trip. Waldeck goes for a drink, and Stasek is talking with Delfina. He says that he has a crush on her, but she rejects him. Waldeck then tries to express his feelings, but Delfina rejects him too, and he gets sad. The following day, Mariola tells Waldeck to go cycling, and she also orders him to clean the home. Meanwhile, his mother arrives home and hugs him. She then tells him they will visit his grandfather, and asks him to get prepared. Mariola comes there, and says she is returning, because no one needs her now. But Waldeck stops her. He is going with Mariola, and is happy to meet his grandparents. The next day, Grandpa takes him to the pond for fishing. Waldeck and his grandfather are talking with each other, and he tells him about Delfina. Waldeck says that she is perfect, and he can't find a girl like her. The grandfather advises him to follow his heart and do what he wants. They see Mariola hanging by a tree doing exercise, and they start laughing at her. When they return home, Waldeck sees his mother, and she says he should shower because he is allergic to grass. She gives anti-allergic to Waldeck, but she isn't feeling well, and her father becomes upset to see her in this condition. She then shows Waldeck the photos of her grandmother and grandfather, and tells him Mariola was a paratrooper, but she stopped when his grandmother died. They both had a great relationship, but the grandmother was worried about her. She kept joking that her heart would stop one day, and suddenly his grandmother had a heart attack and died. Mariola believes that she is the reason for her mother's death. She tells Waldeck about her summer camp when she was 8 years old, but Waldeck becomes angry because she doesn't allow him to go anywhere or do anything without her, and asks her why is she stopping him. He becomes angry and goes down the stair. When his mother is getting an appointment with her doctor, grandfather hears this secretly from the door, but she doesn't notice him. Waldeck is angry about it, and he tells Mariola that his mother shouldn't lie to his grandfather, and tell him the whole truth. But Mariola replies that she will tell him when it will be the right time. She then asks him to go to a house near the church and bring some eggs from there. Waldeck finds a dog, and is pleased to see it. Meanwhile, his mother and Mariola are arguing, but they stop when he returns home. After a while, they are returning, and Waldeck is putting the luggage into the car. Grandfather is sad about his daughter, but she tells him not to worry, and that she will visit again in 2 weeks. Grandfather gives Waldeck a letter for Mariola, and tells him to give her the letter after they go. When they reach home, Stasek is playing outside. He comes to them and tries to talk, but Waldeck ignores him. Stasek says sorry to him and asks him to play together, but Waldeck becomes angry and goes to his room. The following day, Waldeck and Mariola are watering the plant, but his mom has a bad cough. Her condition is getting worse, and Waldeck asks her about her health. His mother is afraid of medical treatments, but Waldeck consoles her and says that she doesn't need to worry, and everything will be fine. After hearing this, she smiles, and they then leave for the hospital. Now Waldeck is alone at home, and thinks that he should do something. Then he starts cleaning the house. After a while, he heard a knock at the door. When he opened the door, Stasek is there. He says he is here to play a video game with him, but Waldeck says he wants to avoid playing video games and has a better idea. They both start baking the pancake and they enjoy it together. In the evening, his mother and Mariola come back home, and she seems happy because of their friendship. She compliments him that he is a good friend of Waldeck, and Stasek then goes from there. Meanwhile, Waldeck gets up. His mother then tells him that the doctor said to her that her condition would recover soon. They both hug and go to the dining table to eat a pancake. Waldeck gives the letter to Mariola, and she also gives him a letter. He opens the letter, and it is an invitation to the next tournament. Although he didn't apply to the tournament, Mariola did it for him. Waldeck becomes happy and then hugs her, but he doesn't want to play in the tournament, saying he is no longer angry with anyone and doesn't want to play anymore. But his mother and Mariola explain that it is his dream and his only target, so he should play in the tournament. They also advised him to start practicing and preparing for the tournament. Mariola then opens her letter, and it was a parachute jump invitation. And she becomes happy. The tournament day arrives, and the Waldeck team wins the final. The announcer announces that the winner of the tournament is going to Germany to play international games. Waldeck goes on the stage to receive the trophy. He holds the trophy and looks toward the crowd. It seems like a dream come true, and the crowd is cheering his name and clapping for his team. His family is also there, and everyone is clapping for him. Waldeck smiles, and now he has achieved his target. The next day, Mariola is on the plane. She is ready for a jump and is very happy. Mariola dives from the plane and gets rid of her fears. Waldeck is prepared for the international games and is at the airport leaving for Germany. He looks toward his mother and Mariola, then he smiles. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next video.
Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel.